Hey there, welcome to the latest episode of the Sexy Thyroid Solution. I'm your host, Angela Brown. So today I want to discuss with you some thyroid health tips that you can really use to help jumpstart your thyroid, especially if you're kind of unsure of what to do for your thyroid. But first, if you're new to my channel, if you could do me a massive favor, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel, and then you're going to hit that little bell button so you get a notification every single Thursday when I release my new YouTube video. If you're watching this on Facebook and Instagram, go ahead and like this, double tap that and like this, and share and tag anyone who would find this information useful as well. So let's go ahead and get started on this. So I talk a lot about thyroid things, but I kind of wanted to just combine a few things that I've talked about before that can be things that you can really utilize now that can help kind of jumpstart your thyroid. If you're kind of unsure on what to do next, these are some really good tips that you can utilize. So first and foremost, we have to talk about food. Not a subject that most people want to talk about, but it's really important for the thyroid. I find it, if you really suspect that you have a slow thyroid, if your metabolism is slow, the food portion is actually going to be more important than you think. Really eating poor diet can decrease the function of the thyroid dramatically. I'm not a calorie in, calorie out kind of person. I don't ever recommend counting calories. I hate it. I don't think it means a thing. I think that you need to really watch what you're taking in versus counting your calories. So really got to be careful with gluten. That's a biggie for the thyroid. It's going to slow your thyroid down. It's going to slow your metabolism down. Sugar, processed foods, sometimes even dairy for some people. I personally can't have dairy with a slow thyroid, but you really have to be careful with the amount of those things that you're taking in. So I would cut those out. I would also be careful with the amount of fat that you're taking in. I'm not saying to go low fat. I think everybody needs good healthy fats in their diet, no question. But if your fat intake is really high, that can actually slow your thyroid down because it takes a lot more energy to burn off fat than it does for carbs and proteins. So just be cautious with an exceptionally high amount of fat when you suspect you might have a slow thyroid. The other thing is supplementation. So there's so many supplements on the market for your thyroid. Try this thing, try that thing. And unfortunately, there's a whole bunch of crap added to them that you really have to be careful with. I would be very cautious with taking the next best supplement that says it's for your thyroid or your metabolism. There's usually shit in it that you can't have. And it's usually stuff that's going to actually do the opposite in the end. Be very careful with things that have vitamin D and calcium if you suspect that you have a thyroid issue. I'm not saying that they're bad supplements. They're great for a lot of people, but if you suspect you have a slow thyroid, those are things that are going to actually slow your thyroid down. And we go over this in one of the modules in my thyroid program ad nauseum. We go over this with the mineral testing, the hair tissue testing. This is one of the big things that we talk about, as well as the supplementation. That's a whole nother module as well. And then what are your stress levels doing? If your stress is off the chart high, your thyroid cannot keep up. Your thyroid and your adrenals have such an interconnection. So you have to be really careful with those two things. If you are under an immense amount of stress and you're not handling that, your thyroid will pay the price. So my question is, have you ever noticed that when you're super stressed out, your metabolism and everything else, thyroid stuff just completely bottoms out, just completely tanks? That's what happens with me. So I'd love to know if that's happened to you before, because I've been there myself. I went through a severe stressful time probably about 2 years ago, I want to say, and I was still eating healthy. I was still working out. Nothing changed with my lifestyle other than I was under an immense amount of stress that was out of my control, and I packed the weight on. And I could tell my thyroid was terrible, and I had a blood panel done and it was terrible again. And it was nothing that I could control. So I had to make the most of it. And I really had to utilize meditation, all these things to kind of try to reduce my stress levels. And it really does help. So that's a big one that I really say you have to keep that in check. And then sleep is another really big one. So if you are really lacking on sleep, that will eventually catch up with your thyroid. Your thyroid cannot keep up. It's your master gland. It's your master metabolism. So if you can't give it good nourished sleep, your thyroid cannot keep up with that. And I'm not talking like you need to get like 8 hours of sleep. I'm talking you need to get like good sleep. So if you can only get 6 hours of sleep and it's straight through and it's really good rested sleep, I'll take that any day over laying down for 9 hours and you're up and down, and you have insomnia and you're not getting that really good REM sleep. You're not getting that. That's not going to help you. Okay, so some ways that you can do that is shutting off your electronics before bed. I know that's really hard, but a lot of people are on their phones and their tablets and stuff like that right before bed, and that artificial light can be really, really hard on your body to kind of wind down. As well as keeping the room really dark, keeping it cold, those sorts of things that what your body needs to kind of really wind down with sleep. So these are kind of my biggies. I do have 5 Causes of Hypothyroidism guide that kind of goes a little bit more in depth with some of these things. If you want to grab that, there will be a link below that you can grab that free guide and give you a little bit more information, definitely some more in-depth stuff. And then again, if you have any questions, let me know. Do me a big favor again. I would love if you would subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button so you get all the notifications every Thursday. And then if you're watching this on Facebook and Instagram as well, give me a like, tag someone, share this. That just helps me for sure. And if you need anything else, definitely reach out. You know where to find me, and we'll chat soon. Bye.